Practice number 4 in the books, and here we sit on a Monday. I was at training camp yesterday, and I have some takes on that day of practice and what I'm seeing from your Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive in here on a Monday. I've been thinking about this show all morning, all last night after leaving camp and thinking of the things that are going on. You wonder to yourself, is George Pickens really digging his ditch to find a one-way ticket out of Pittsburgh? Is that going to happen? Are the Steelers in the position to be able to do such a thing? It makes you wonder what's going on with George Pickens, and you say to yourself, is he already going off the rails in a very young NFL career and in a very short period of time in Latrobe, Pennsylvania to start the 2024 season, the training camp period? You ask yourself these questions, and then you look at the quarterback situation. Guys, I did see Russell Wilson do some drills. I'm sure others have reported that, but I did see Russell Wilson involved in some of the drills. His arm talent does look amazing. He has a zip on the football, as does Justin Fields. He has a very strong arm. The ball comes off pretty damn good off their hand, and it's very impressive to see, as does Kyle Allen. I think that there are 3 strong-arm quarterbacks there in camp. I think it comes down to what you're looking at with Justin Fields in terms of footwork, his ability to process and read defenses, get through his progressions, and be accurate with the football. Yesterday, I thought that he was inaccurate most of the time. I thought that his accuracy definitely needs some work. I definitely think his processing needs some major tweaking and major work there. But I just don't see a world in which Justin Fields starts this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know there's many fans out there that see a highlight here or there without seeing the whole body of work for the day of practice, and you say to yourself, oh, he should be the starter, man. He hit that one throw. Again, yeah, he hit a couple throws, but when you're not facing any pass rush, you're not in any real tough situation in terms of trying to elude defenders and things of that nature, and you're able to really set and throw the football, there's no reason at the NFL level that you should be highly inaccurate during those sessions. I think that that is a major issue for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Justin Fields. Justin Fields really has to work on things. Is there a time that Justin Fields comes in and plays in 2024? Yeah, possibly, because there could be an injury to Russ or something like that. But I don't see a world in which we live that Russell Wilson plays poorly enough for Justin Fields to see the field as the starter. I just don't see that, because I think that there is light years of difference between the two quarterbacks, especially right now intellectually, and just the processing ability, the speed of the game. Justin Fields has never been able to get a grip on that. I just don't see it in practice. I don't see that flow. Again, I have to wait until the pads are on, start to see live action before I truly give 1,000% definitive assessment of his play. But as of right now, Justin Fields is not the starter, guys. And if you wish for Justin Fields to be the starter, I think you're wishing for a very, very long and tough season. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers, even with an elite defense in today's NFL, are going to be able to win ball games 17-14 week after week after week after week? No. It don't happen in this world of the NFL. You have to be able to score points, and I think with Justin Fields behind the center, I think you are really, really holding your offense back. And then again, you look at this offense as a whole, and you're saying to yourself, do they have a true number 2, or guys behind them going to emerge behind George Pickens? And then you ask yourself, is George Pickens even going to be able to stay on this football team? Is he going to be able to control his damn attitude? And his actions are speaking very loudly right now. They got in a pushing match, Coach Gisani and George Pickens at practice. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's the coach. Like, you don't do that. I know Coach Gisani is coaching them hard because of after last year, Frisbin Jackson, that room was a complete mess. It felt like a bomb went off in there. There was no accountability in that room whatsoever. Missed assignments in the run game. Routes run wrong. Just a horrible 2023 campaign, if you ask me, if you look at that room as a whole. And then you say to yourself, himself this year. Do they have enough talent behind George just to get rid of him? I don't think so, not just yet. I think that those guys that are underneath George right now have to be able to either get used to the Steelers environment and this offense or just get used to being in the NFL in general. I think Calvin Austin will be a valuable asset. I think Roman Wilson is starting to every day get a little bit better in his ability as a wide receiver. I like the work that he's doing on the side with some of the quarterbacks also. And some of the different drills when they broke up individually and were doing drills and things of that nature. I really like the way whenever he comes off of a route and he's coming back to get relined up or, to get to the next rep, he's going through footwork and really trying to decipher exactly how he needs to do things in order to get some of these passes from Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Allen, and those guys to where they really are trying to get on the same page. So I admire Roman Wilson's work ethic. Calvin Austin's work ethic has been well documented, a real killer in the work ethic department. Yesterday also, I noticed this football team have great chemistry in terms of the way they joked around and were like talking to each other on the field. I was at one portion by the defensive field, standing right along the fence, and those guys were right there against the fence basically. And to hear TJ, to hear Cam, to hear the way they all interact, making fun of each other, just like a real cool locker room environment there, I thought the defense was really well put together in that way. You hear guys joking around, you hear them playing around with each other, which is really, really cool. So I definitely think the chemistry's there for this football team. I think going to Latrobe really brings these guys together, forcing them into spending time with each other in a different way, as opposed to just being at the facility and going home to your house every night and then coming back for practice. I think that being at Latrobe breeds that team attitude, that team environment. I definitely do think that. So definitely, I think this team has a cool chemistry, especially that defensive side of the football. They were fun to watch, man. And just the sheer power of some of those guys when they're hitting the sleds and things, and the sheer speed of those guys. I think it's going to be really, really exciting for the Steelers. But I don't think they can win ball games off of just defensive alone. Is this the formula to win in today's NFL? You ask yourself, can it be done? I think it can be done, but I don't think it's a week in, week out thing. I think that the offense has to produce. So you look at this team as a whole, and you say to yourself, there are several bright spots, but there are still many questions yet to be answered after 4 days of practice, non-padded practice. Tuesday, you get to start to see some of the real work here as the Steelers put on the pads. I think you will see Russell Wilson Tuesday make his full practice debut. Even if he doesn't go full practice, I think he'll be in on 11 on 11, 7 shots, things of that nature. So I think you'll see Russell Wilson next week get some good reps and get some good work in. Also, the offense yesterday did win 7 shots, 5-2, I believe. So that was a bright spot. Again, there's no pads on, no real way to gauge this thing until Tuesday. So we'll wait. We'll hold our judgment until then. But they did win, so that was something cool for them as they get a little bit better dinner, I guess, or something. I don't know. These guys got money. I don't think they're just going to be scrubbing around for scraps, man. But anyway, that's how that went down. Let me give you some of the takeaways that I had as I went several years. I've been several years, many years. I've been going to Latrobe. I've made the pilgrimage as a Steelers fan to Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I've been there by myself as a young adult. I've been there now with my kids and my family and take them. And what I'm seeing now here, though, I have to say, it's kind of crazy. You see some of these adults out there, guys, and if you're one of them and you're listening, I think you're ridiculous. And I have to say that, and I hope that this strikes a chord with you and maybe changes some of your behavior. What the autographs and stuff are for, and why some of the players probably don't come out now and sign autographs. It's very few of them come through and sign. It's not a bunch of them. They usually mostly hide from the fans and go and get in the back way, take a cart up after practice. They don't want to sign because I feel that there's one big issue. There are grown-ass men there bringing wagon loads of memorabilia. uh, getting it signed, acting like real weirdos, dude. Like, I'm standing there, and this one guy, he's holding this little helmet. Broderick Jones is there signing. The kids are there. These adults are trying to mow over kids to be able to get the Broderick Jones to get him to sign. And they're going, Mr. Jones, please sign my helmet. Please, dude. Quit acting like a weirdo, dude. It's uncomfortable for me to watch you do it. I gotta say that. TJ Watt came over to sign, and I gotta say the way the adults acted was absolutely sickening to me. They had my little son pinned against the fence, pushing so hard, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they're lucky this dad didn't go off, because I was about to start ripping folks out of the way and try to protect my son from that. But my son's a trooper. He's tough. So he was able to deal with it, thankfully. But these guys acting like complete idiots, and you wonder to yourself, there was fans standing there saying, man, not a lot of these guys come and sign. It's kind of crazy how they don't really value, coming through here and signing for the fans. I wouldn't want to either. With the way that these guys act. I mean, come on. There was this one guy, ended up actually getting a glove from a player that would literally act like he's going, oh, I'm getting autographs for my son. I never seen a kid with the dude at all. And he's like, literally, when somebody comes over, he's flying up over top of everybody, acting like a nutcase, a complete nut job. Now, there are adults that are cool. I, on the other hand, had a prime spot to get autographs. I was right beside my son, and instead of standing there, I seen another little boy come with decked out in his Steelers gear. I said, come on, get up here. You stand here beside my kid. That's what it's about, guys. That's what it's about, folks. The next generation of young Steelers fans. That's what it's about. Quit. If you're an adult and you're doing these things that I'm talking about and you're acting this way, you're ruining it for everybody. Because honestly, these kids aren't going to get a chance to meet their players, their favorite players, not the way that they used to be able to anyway. They've already limited the space on the one side to where you can't go over on the other side. They sectioned the whole place that was beautiful to sit off for the media, which I see no media use except for one interview with TJ Watt one time. But they sectioned this giant area off that was totally beautiful for fans to sit, being under the tree, being able to see the practice really well, but allowing the kids to be able to stand over there by the fence to where, as a parent, you just don't want to leave your kids in, with thousands of people, to where parents could sit over there and watch the practice and do the things they wanted to do, be in the shade, and still have their kids be able to do their thing over there while you're able to watch them and things of that nature. So, totally crazy, guys. I gotta say, the way that camp session was for me, it honestly made me almost never want to go back. I hate to say that. The way these adults behave, you should be ashamed of yourself. And if you are one of those adults, I'm sorry. I have to tell the truth. And if you're one of them and you are trying to kill a kid to get over top of them to get an autograph from somebody, you're a weirdo, dude. And you need to evaluate your life. Seriously. And honestly, I have to speak the truth. I can't sit here and act like it was all, fun in the sun. No, because it wasn't. It was ridiculous. Now, I get there's some adults that may have some issues, that may act like kids or something like that, not because they want to, just because that's the way God made them. And that's okay. Let them get in there too. But some of these adults that I know better. Start doing better. Act right. Realize what this is about when you go up there. And it is to cultivate the next generation of young Steelers fans and allow them that experience you got to experience when you were a kid. When I was young, I used to go there and be able to do all types of cool stuff. I just want my kid to have that experience too. So it is what it is, guys. I just had to bring that up. It was really crazy to me. I'm trying to watch practice, but it's like I had to watch my kid too, because if you don't, some of these adults will just run them over, dude. Run them over. But it was hot as hell yesterday. A lot of takeaways, guys, from this team. One is I think George Pickens is acting like a complete fool, and he's got to get reined in. And if Mike Tomlin doesn't handle that situation real quick and in a hurry, I think George Pickens is writing his ticket out of Pittsburgh, and you may see a trade. And that trade may be involving one George Pickens, to be honest with you, because they're not going to tolerate it for long. You know the Steelers, guys. You know how long they put up with it. It's not going to be forever. They will get rid of you. They don't care how good you are. They don't care. And that is something that I do admire about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So George got to get this reined in before he is part of a trade package to bring one of these other guys in here. And they'll go and pay one of these guys that are established already. I mean, that's just maybe the way it works. As a whole, though, this football team, I think, is definitely building in the right direction. Definitely think it's moving in the right direction. The speed, the agility, the athleticism, the offensive line, I'm going to hold back some of my comments on them for now because I want to see what happens next week when the pads come on and guys are able to actually start showing what they can do. So I definitely want to wait for that next week and go from there and really start to break down that group. I think next week we'll really hit this offensive line hard and heavy with our assessments. Again, I'm going to try to make it back up to camp. I did meet somebody up there yesterday that is a mic drop mafia, not a mafia member actually, not the 99 cents member, but somebody that subscribes to the channel. So Chris, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate that. That was really cool, and it was good to meet you, and it was awesome. So thank you, and we'll be up there again. We're going to try to get up there a couple more times. I had some content that I had made up there, but I was messing things up when I was recording and the sun was hitting all weird and the videos suck. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them. I did get a couple sound bites when players were coming up and signing autographs and things of that nature. Again, guys, I'm not part of the media to where I can go down on the field. And honestly, I don't know if I ever want to be part of the media, to be honest, because I always want to be able to give my true and accurate assessment of this football team without being chained to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I think that there is a little bit of a weird dynamic there that they have to watch what they say, and I don't want to have to watch what I say. And I can't knock those people in the media for that because that's their job. That's the way they feed their families, and I would never knock them for that. But I do think that there's something that holds them back sometimes from reporting things that they see that they're not allowed to report. When I come in there, the one lady's like, "You can't video here," and I'm like, "I have a phone, lady." Probably because I had my mic and stuff, and I'm like, it's all right, cool. But yeah, they're like hard and heavy on what you can record and what you can see, but it is what it is. I'll record whatever I want. They ain't gonna see what you're doing, so it is what it is. But yeah, overall good experience, but there were still some things that sucked. So I'll quit rambling. We'll be back tonight, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the show Steel City Live, only here on Mic Drop Sports. Again, guys, no practice today for your Pittsburgh Steelers. It is their off day. They'll be back Tuesday to start padded practices. And also the things that you need to be watching. How Justin Fields continues to grow. You need to really be focusing on this offensive line because without them, nothing goes. I think you're going to start to be able to get a good, accurate assessment of them next week. And I think you need to continue to watch this George Pickens thing in this wide receiver room because honestly, I think that things may turn. I think things may turn and things may go in a little bit different direction if the pattern continues for one George Pickens. And let's continue to see how they develop the people below George in the depth chart and how Coach Zani continues to try to reel this room in. And maybe it's just part of the process, button heads with George and part of the process in which they need to figure out how to get it handled. So until tonight, I'm Jason. Watch out for those things as tomorrow the Steelers go back for practice number 5, and that'll be in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. So if you can get out there, go out and support your Steelers. So until next time, guys, I'm Jason. We'll see you tomorrow or tonight. Peace.